As our first speaker, we have Karthikeya. Karthikeya, a member of Riverside's first batch, is a strategy consultant at Deloitte, where he supports organizations on key growth and business initiative transformation. He studied economics and psychology at the University of Michigan before earning a master's degree of management from the Ross School of Business and an MBA from the Indian School of Business in Hyderabad. Over to you, Karthikeya.
Hi Karthikeya, good morning.
Rhea Rao works in the field of marketing and communications with a strong focus on CSR storytelling and development sector. She studied social work, development, and humanities, which shaped her belief in purpose, kindness, and giving back. Her journey began with hands on work in the education nonprofit space, where she saw firsthand how access and opportunity can transform a child's life. She later moved into CSR, gaining exposure on how companies plan, fund, and execute programs on the ground. Today, Ria brings together her development experience, corporate understanding, and creative storytelling skills in marketing, building brands, shaping narratives, and advocating for impact. She is driven by the desire to learn, grow, and contribute meaningfully to those who have less access and privilege.
Okay, so Dravya, shall I take over then?
Yes.
Okay. Firstly, it's so good to be here. I was just looking at a whole bunch of people seated in the room, and I saw a couple of teachers walk past. I think I saw Amit sir and Suja ma'am, and I don't remember who else I saw, but it was really good to see teachers I studied with because it took me back a couple of years ago, and I was right there when a few other seniors had come, and we were on the other side, right? And it's just so wholesome to be part of this discussion and just hear and understand where children are, how they try to navigate their journeys and trying to get guidance from us. So just all in all, I'm really thankful and glad to be here. So can I have someone from Univariety maybe help me share the presentation? That would be a little
Sure,
more seamless. Yeah.
just doing that. Let me know when you can see my screen. Is my screen
Yeah,
visible?
it's coming up. It's coming up.
Okay.
Perfect. You can put it on full screen maybe.
Yes, doing that.
Yes, yes. It's right there above.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Right, so we can begin. So basically, I passed out from the 2016 batch from Riverside School. I have not been in Riverside from the very beginning, so I've changed a lot of schools. I think Riverside was my last and final school. So over the course of my education, I've changed about 6 schools. All right. So I've been to a lot more schools and I've seen different education systems. And I definitely say that when I came to Riverside, it was nothing like what I had expected because I was earlier in a boarding school. So there was a big cultural shift when I came to the school, and it took me a lot of time to adjust because Riverside was so different in many ways, right? But I think it was one of the most wholesome, enriching experiences I've had because of the teachers, because of the space, how they've created the atmosphere, the academics. So all in all, I had a really gala time over there, and I made a lifetime of memories. So I think it'll always hold a very special place in my heart. That being said, moving on to the next course of my education, which was master's and undergrad. So I did 3 years of my undergrad at Azim Premji University in Bangalore and master's as well in Bangalore itself at APU. And then I went on to work in a few other companies. So I'll begin by letting you guys know about my trajectory and how I've come to be and who I am. So earlier on in Riverside, we were exposed to social work. I believe every weekend we had to dedicate certain number of hours to doing good in whatever area we chose, right? So there was heal, so solar civil activities, and then there was Chalo Nishad where you could actually go on field and teach young children certain subjects. So I chose that, and we had to educate them on several subjects like English, math. Then we had something around drama, dance, arts, all of those things. So I think I did that for quite some time, and that's where I felt like I was adding value and purpose to people who came from lesser economic circumstances, disadvantaged communities. And the amount of satisfaction that I derived from there was unparalleled. I think they were so happy, and it was such a sweet moment, and it really just added so much more layer to my sort of understanding of what India is, how are we divided as a community, society at large. So that was, I think, the stepping stone into the world of social work. And that's when I sort of got introduced also that this could be a possible career or an area where I want to go to, right? So I think social impact activities definitely shaped that worldview for me. about what it truly means to be privileged, because I do come from that background, and it's important that I recognize it earlier on, that I have so much access to resources, to people, to a network, right? But maybe others don't. And in some way, it's my duty to give back and do good in whatever small way possible. So I wanted to ensure that even in my career going forward, I have some element of that sort going forward. Then in college, which was undergrad, we had field trips because the entire course for combined humanities was structured in a way that people across courses had to ensure that they would do at least one or two field trips in that year, per year of education, per semester. And this would be into extremely rural, remote areas, states which may not be as rich as probably Gujarat is, right? Maybe like a Bihar or an Orissa, something of that kind. And we had to travel by train in for 3 days in like a sleeper class with very less resources, and we were given a certain amount of allowance that we had to spend, and we had to stay with the community inside like small quarters with a team of people, and we had to do our own laundry, cook our own food, go on field, like learn things of how suppose an organization works because we were placed there. So a lot of those learnings really added a lot more value to my understanding of what people do, how they work, how they operate in different regions. Because when I was living, and I primarily lived in Gujarat all of my life, your understanding of people around you is to a certain level, right? You think that this is what the world is like. But when you step out and you go to another state or another city, primarily villages, you get to know another side of India. So field trips definitely added that understanding to me. And I think it opened my eyes. It opened my eyes to the realities of India, that everything is not as rosy and, sunshine and rainbows as you and I see on an everyday basis. Then one thing very interesting at Azim Premji was that we studied with diverse peers, so people who came from different socioeconomic backgrounds, right? And I had friends who were very different compared to where I came from Riverside, from Ahmedabad. People who were either, children of single parents or from broken families, or people who had taken some, loans or sponsorship to just study at a university, or they were orphans as well, and that was entirely new to me. I had not known such a concept, because you get to hear such things, but when you study with people who are so far different from you, you are humbled. You're right. You understand what it means to be lucky, to be fortunate, to be privileged, and you also mingle and gel with these people, and you get to know that they're very much like you. They just had life tougher, and you had it easier. But it's your duty also to be kinder, to be nicer, to be warm, welcoming of such people, because for them it's much more difficult to navigate in these educational spaces which are so structured, and they have a top down approach and so on. But in that way, I think Azim Premji is very very encouraging, very warm, very welcoming to all sorts of people from different communities. And I think that is the most brilliant thing, because you get to study with all sorts of people, and that really broadens your horizon. So I think studying with diverse peers added again many more layers to my understanding. And I think when I talk to different kind of people today, I have those kind of it's a more nuanced conversation with people. It's not as straightforward because you see them and where they come from, right? Other than that, I think over the course of my journey, I've tried several roles. So it's not been very straightforward for me from the very beginning. Like when in Riverside, I'm sure other people had a very clear understanding as to what they wanted to do and the things they wanted to opt for, the choices they wanted to make. But for me, it was a little bit of trial and error. So I think I tried an entrepreneurship thing where I opened my own jewelry line, and I just did e-commerce for a bit. I would hand make jewelry and I would sell that online. So I did that for about 2 years during COVID. Then my mother had a preschool, so I helped her set that up at our own premises. And then I was doing teaching dance and arts over there. So a little bit of teaching as well. And then I started off as an academic head at a smaller preschool in Hyderabad known as Potter's Wheel. And then I moved on to an NGO, the Apprentice Project, where this picture, as you can see, is taken in a remote school at the outskirts of Pune in Pimpri Chinchwad. So again, it's a lower income community. So I think the children were really thrilled to have an entire team over there, spend the day with them, teaching them all sorts of things. So that again was a really beautiful experience for us. Then I moved to CSR Box, which is a CSR consulting firm. And today I am at Chrysalis Services, which is again is a CSR consulting firm, and we operate pan India. We can move, yeah. So coming to marketing and how I came here, probably all are wondering how I came to marketing because I don't have a formal background and academic sort of disposition in marketing. But earlier at Chrysalis Services, I was an alliances manager. So I was managing relationships with NGOs and foundations. And how do we see ourselves as a firm? We are a consulting firm. So we see ourselves as a catalyzing force for good. We're a bridge between corporates and NGOs, right? So we ensure that corporates who have the mandate by law to, you know, shell certain amount of money in a financial year, right? They may be a little confused or may not know exactly where to fund, which programs to go into, and all of that. So we guide and direct them to good programs on ground. That's our job. So we also help them connect with the correct NGOs, foundations, whatever else. So I was in charge with having that kind of relationship with NGOs, several NGOs. That went on for about a year or so. And then my manager, who's a really exceptional person, his name is Sudhir Rao, he saw that I had a creative side and he wanted me to explore marketing and communications. So that's where he asked me if I would like to jump in and try that field out. And I think that was one of the best decisions that I agreed to. And today I'm in marketing. And I think it's a great space because you get to be very creative. You have that liberty and that freedom to try different things, experiment. And I think marketing is a great space to be in, right? So that's where I am today. I think in terms of talking about marketing as a field and domain, I feel people who are in marketing or people like you who aspire to get into marketing, it's important to always, obviously, if you can and if you have that creative zest, there's nothing like it. But always keep your eyes and ears open because it's all about observation. The patterns you see in the world, the color, the themes, the interplay of elements, what other companies are doing. I think that is very important to observe and make a note of. So I've always tried my best to, observe campaigns, go on LinkedIn and like scroll through. I follow a lot of pages. I observe ads and what they do uniquely, hoarding stories. It's all about storytelling and how effectively you convey a message to a larger population, the target group. So that's one thing. But the other thing is you have to ensure that you always come up with diverse content for whichever target group you're, catering to or addressing. So you have to be exposed to a lot more ideas. You cannot be confined to a box. So you have to go on the internet or read up or observe things in your surroundings and then try to implement, refine, revise those concepts. The other thing is an understanding about competitors. Of course, when you're trying to market your goods, services, or whatever else you're selling, you need to know how you're placed. So you need to have a USP, something unique about you that other people do not have, other competitors, right? So you need to know where you're placed in the market. How do you differentiate? So that way, studying your competitors, their brands, their marketing strategies is very important so that you're able to explicitly mention how you are different from the rest. And lastly, I think you have to keep learning, testing, refining. Marketing is all about that. There's a lot of trial and error. You try some things, it doesn't land. There's a lot of cold calling, messaging. You don't get a response, but then you have to keep going. So it's a lot of that. Not no one day can be the same. So it's a lot of learning on the go, learning on the job as well. But if you like the field and if you feel like this is your calling, it's very wholesome and very enriching, rewarding as well. Next slide, please. In terms of, I think I wanted to put down a little bit something for the young minds in the room because I think it's important to protect your mind, body, and future. By that, I mean that a lot of the times when you're young, you assume you can do so much more. But when you start adulting in the true sense, your fields become more narrower, right? Your energy goes into something which is could primarily become your work, which you do not want that to happen. Yes, you should be dedicated, you should be diligent to your work, and you should be hardworking and all of that, and that will take you places for sure. But I see a lot of people around me who tend to only become about their work and the other aspects of their personality tend to erode away gradually. And I think that's what you have to be very careful and mindful about because you will definitely have hobbies and interests, right? Each one of us is unique and different, but you have to ensure that you hone your skills, your talents, spend time with yourself, pick up things that interest you and make you feel alive. Don't let that go. That will keep you young in the long run. And people enjoy being around those with zest, energy, and joy because we all radiate a certain level of energy. We have an aura, right? And if that tends to dull, if that tends to, go away, then life can get tough. So you want to ensure that there's balance between work, leisure. So that can prevent burnout, which does happen to a lot of people, a lot of my peers, friends, even myself, fatigue and even illness for that matter. So ensure that you're always on top of your game, but also giving yourself that space and time to feel rejuvenated and recharge. No job is bigger than your peace and mental health. Now, this is something I learned the hard way. I was working at a place before Crystal Services, and that was one of the places I had really aspired very hard to be at. And it taken me some time to, clear the assignments and the interviews, and I'd finally come to this place to work. And I was very thrilled, very delighted that I was selected and I got in this place. Initially, it was tough, obviously, because it was a very fast-paced environment to get in, to gel with your peers, and to deliver was a challenge. But gradually, I realized that the working environment wasn't the best. The culture was quite poor. The work balance was not there. The policies were pretty much with the management, and it was just not working for me. And I was really tired by the end of it, and I was not doing well even mentally and physically also. It was too draining. And I learned the hard way that sometimes some things might not work for you, so you have to step out. You have to take a conscious call that maybe this is not where I'm supposed to be. Like, this may be the right thing for other people, but for me and who I am, I don't feel that my values align with the organization values, and that can happen to a lot of people. So I left the job essentially. And it was a hard call because I really wanted to be there, but I knew that there was something better awaiting me at the end of the tunnel, right? So that happened. The other thing is, I was introduced to saving and investing early on. So I'm glad that this came my way and I got to know about what it means to have financial independence. And this is also something I think my parents told me very early on in my adolescence, right? That whatever you do, be happy and be financially independent. Um, I think boys are definitely told that they should start earning earlier on and support their family and so on. But I think it's also important for young girls to know that financial independence and being able to stand on your 2 feet and not having to ask for money from anyone, from your own family, your husband or partner or whatever, is very crucial. The 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 confidence that you get when you're financially independent, when you have your own money, is something that cannot be conveyed in words, right? So I think even if you start small, if you earn little, that's also okay, but start somewhere and invest money wisely. So there's a rule that you have in investing also. You guys can probably look it up on the internet, where when you earn a certain amount of money, certain things should go for your savings, certain should go for your essentials, and certain things can go for like other things where you may want certain things for leisure, recreation, and spending on miscellaneous items. So investing early will definitely reap benefits probably years down the line. So do that, and I recommend all girls to please bear this in mind, and going forward, make a note of this. And lastly, no job is small. So I know a lot of the people in the room, we aspire to, have great designations. We want to reach that office space or climb the corporate ladder and be landed and, all of that. And all of that is great for sure. But I think we disregard and we don't understand that a lot of the times people who don't have it easy have to start from very small, maybe menial jobs. It could feel like a lot. It could feel like it's a lot of hard work and it's unnecessary, and the designations might also not be all like wow, right? But you have to start somewhere, you have to start small, and with that, with time, with your hard work, with whatever you deliver, you will start climbing the ladder gradually, and people will also have a lot of respect for you, and you'll add a lot of value to the space. So no job is small, the designation doesn't matter, where you are doesn't matter, as long as you know you're in the right place and you're delivering well. I think that is what you should focus on. Next slide, please. And I think final message from my side to everyone would be to stay curious, because when you have that curiosity inbuilt in you, you want to know more, you want to learn more. And the more you know about the world, the less you fear, right? So the more you read up, the more you engage with people who are smarter than you, or the more content you consume on a daily basis, I think that adds so much more to your personality. And when you're curious, people like you because they see you as someone who's like a sponge who can absorb, right? So be curious, keep your eyes and ears open, stay kind. Obviously, I think the world needs kindness. We're all on our journey, and things can get tough from time to time, But if we show a little kindness to people around us, I think that will really change the world, right? So start from your own home, start from your house help, for your parents, for your partners, for animals. I think kindness can do wonders. And stay open, always stay open, have an open mind, be receptive to your new ideas, try to challenge people's ideas, have dialogues, have conversations, and things will flow, things will fall into place. I think that's all from my end.
Thank you so much, Rhea. Do we have Dravya also? Should we start with next introduction?
Yeah, sure. So, as our next speaker, we have Karthikeya. Karthikeya, a member of the Riverside's first batch, is a strategy consultant at Deloitte, where he supports organizations on key growth and business transformation initiatives. He studied economics and psychology at the University of Michigan before earning a Master of Management degree from the Ross School of Business and an MBA from the Indian School of Business in Hyderabad.
Thank you, Dravya. Firstly, hi everyone. Good morning. It's great to be here, and I apologize for the earlier tech glitch. As always, there's someone who has a tech glitch. This time it was me, so sorry about that. But I don't have a PPT or a deck to show you guys, so I'm just gonna talk very briefly about my journey, and then leave more time for you guys to open up with questions. As Davya mentioned, I am a part of the first batch of Riverside, graduated in 2013. So compared to that, compared to all of you guys, I'm quite old. But yeah, after Riverside, I went ahead to the University of Michigan, and that journey was not like a very seamless one. When I was at school, I was not very sure of what exactly I wanted to do. Some people who know me might say that I'm still not very sure, but that's a different point. But yeah, so when I was in school, looking at colleges in grade 11 and 12, I applied for everything. I applied to 4 different countries, to colleges in 4 different countries. I went for law, got into law, did economics, was trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do. Eventually, I ended up picking economics and went to the University of Michigan. There, I just started out with studying purely economics, took a few random classes, found that I really enjoyed psychology as well. So then got that on as well and decided to study both economics as well as psychology. Post my graduation from college, I was considering going ahead for a PhD. I was considering taking up psychology as a profession. So before I went ahead for that and committed 5 years of my life to that, I thought it might be good to just try out what life as a researcher or an academic might be. So I worked for a year with a lab at the University of Michigan as a research assistant. That experience at 1 year was very helpful. I learned a lot, but I realized that research and academia was not the field for me. So that's when I made the pivot into business, decided that I'm going to study business and get into the business side of things. So that's where I decided to get a master's of management, graduated from that, and decided to come back to India to work with my family business here in Ahmedabad itself. So that's what I did for 3 years after that. Again, that was a great experience. I learned a lot, but I realized I wanted to try something else. I thought it was a little early in my career to be 100% sure of this is exactly what I wanted to be. I was not 100% sure for sure. So I decided to pivot out of the family business and I considered getting into consulting. So to do that, I went ahead, got my MBA from the Indian School of Business in Hyderabad and graduated from there in 2023. And since then, so for the past 2.5 years, I've been working as a strategy consultant with Deloitte. So basically, to sum it up in a nutshell, my journey from Riverside to Deloitte has been one where I've gone on like 5 different paths, tried 4 different things before deciding, okay, maybe I want to do this. And I'm still on that. So I don't know if this is the final destination or if maybe sometime in the future I might decide that, I'm done with consulting. I'm going to try something else now. Excuse me. So that's my journey and what that's been like. And I'd say one key thing that I will highlight is the experience I had at Riverside, the base that I built at Riverside really prepared me for this, for the uncertainty and for the very different experiences that I've had. At Riverside, we had all those things that we did outside of the class, whether it was going ahead and pitching ourselves, making presentations at different schools. I had the opportunity to present at TEDx, at the American Embassy, go to Singapore and Bhutan to attend conferences. All of those helped me really build confidence, helped me navigate, build the skills to navigate change. And which is why I think it prepared me for the transition from Riverside to college. And that was a big one, especially going from Riverside, which is a small school. Every one of us knows each other, everyone. You know everyone, like 4 classes below you, you know all the teachers, they know your names, they know who you are. To the University of Michigan, which was a massive college with like 60,000 students. I did not know a single person in the United States at that point. For someone like me who used to be very introverted, this was a
Yeah.
massive shift.
And
But
plus,
that
so
but the experiences at Riverside allowed me to navigate that really well, and I think those have also built up in my other experiences. And I think that those experiences also really helped me with my professional journey, which is now as a consultant. A lot of times I'm in rooms with very senior executives, CEOs, CMOs, very senior business leaders, all of whom have 25, 30, 40 years of experience in industry that I'm very new to. Because as a consultant, I'm not a specialist. I'm a generalist. I look up, I study a little bit about the industry, and then I'm trying to help solve the business or help the client solve their problems. But I'm dealing with and I'm trying to help people who have more experience in the industry than my age. And it really, the you really need to understand how to deal with your audience at that point. Everyone is not the same. Every audience looks for something else. So when you're talking to a senior leader, they have very different priorities than say someone who's at a different level or someone who's an external party. And the ability to adapt to those situations is something that's very critical. But yes, that's been my journey so far, working in Bombay now as a consultant, as I mentioned. And again, I don't have a lot of photographs or visual things to show you. I was traveling over the last couple of days, so I couldn't really get access to those. But I will say one thing, which is, and this would be the biggest advice that I can give to anyone, is to try everything. Uh, a lot of times when we're in school, you might know that, okay, this is what I'm interested in, or this is what I want to do. If you do know that, that's great, that's amazing. But just be open to trying something else as well. Like focus on that, but also give a shot to something else. If you don't know what you want to do, if you're like me, perfect. Just trying things out makes it so much easier and so much more fun. And it'll also help you find other things that you might not want to make your career, you might not want to make your primary thing, but you find things that you enjoy to do outside of, in your spare time. One big example for that is dancing for me. Anyone who knew me at school knows that I did not dance at all. I was super introverted. I think I saw Amit sir there earlier. He can attest to that. And then in college, I decided that I wanted to try and learn dancing. So I started picking up. I joined the ballroom dancing club, and I found that I really enjoyed it. Eventually ended up competing at national level collegiate competitions in ballroom dancing. And this is in college. So 4 years back when I was in school, I would not have thought that I would ever be doing that. Uh, so yeah, that's my biggest advice. Just try things. If you don't like it, you can move on. If you like something, you might just find something fun that you can uh, use to improve yourself or build a new skill or just have some fun time for yourself. That'll be the biggest advice that I can give. And especially at this age, you have the opportunity to try a lot of things. So take advantage of that.
Thank you so
I'll
much,
open the floor for questions now. Yeah, I don't have a lot of material prepared.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. Just to let you know, both the alumni, that we have the sports day event going on at Riverside School, and you both might be aware like how big this event is for the school. So the students are also busy in that. So if you could share a few glimpses of your sports day events from the school, if you could share with that, I'm sure the students will be able to relate a lot. Anybody wants to go first? Rhea, Karthikeya?
So I can go first if that's okay. So back in school, I was a very timid, shy, and little reserved when I just started out in ninth, right after coming from another school. And I think I always had an athletic side to me, but I never explored it as much as I should have. And I think sportsmanship is one thing that people really tell you that it's great, and you should, have that in you, and you should explore and be sporty and like sweat it out and like move. Movement is very important. At least at our age, at Karthikeya and my age, you need a lot of movement because we're always on our desks, on our laptops. So I think that being said, I remember when I go back to Riverside and memories from that time. Initially, as I said, I didn't step out much, and I would not take part in as many sports as I wanted to. But I think there was the sports day opportunities really ensured they nudged you to get out of your shell. And I think there was one time where surprisingly I was captain of one team, and I had another, we captain a team with someone else, right? Someone who can work alongside you. And I think that was my moment to take my team forward and to ensure that we at least we do we we can go somewhere and we can do make it big and fight it out like make sure that everyone has fun, but also there's sportsman spirit on field. um, and that really pushes you out to come out and to do better, and that ensures that you also show your leadership abilities. So you motivate the team, you keep everyone together, you encourage people to take part in various other sports. It's all a lot of planning, streamlining things, ensuring people get seen and heard and everything. And I think I had a great time because I got to understand so much about myself, what my boundaries were, but also how much I could push myself. And I enjoyed myself on field, especially floorball, because that was something that I really thoroughly enjoyed. And before that, I was never introduced to floorball before Riverside, right? So I think I loved playing floorball and the other sports as well. I think the relays and the races, especially because I like to run. So I think that's where I felt like, wow, this aspect of me is something that I didn't know before. So I think Riverside definitely gives you that chance, which probably other schools don't, because I have changed a lot of schools. So I know that generally sports days tend to be very mediocre. They have a certain skit that happens, and then you have the PT sir who comes in and he shows you a certain basic drill that you do for people. It's a show and a couple of races, and that's about it. But I think at Riverside, they really celebrate sports day in a grand manner. You have teams and you have names, you have captains, and you have you can get to pick your colors and your theme song. And they make a big spectacle out of it, but also the very core of it, it's really fun. Extremely fun. It's something you will cherish. Probably now you might not realize it because always you're in your, teens and you're like, okay, this is what it's all about. But looking back, you wish as an adult you had something that exciting to look forward to now. So I think all in all, I really thoroughly enjoyed myself during the sports days at Riverside, and I think all of you all should definitely make the most of it. Push yourselves. If you all still feel a little unsure that okay, maybe this is not my thing, or I don't feel as confident, still go out there and do it, as Karthikeya said, because you never know, something you might fall in love with right on the field. And always have sportsman spirit, be kind and respectful to one another, because it's a game. Yes, you can be competitive, but know that other people are also there on the field with you. So that's there. Yeah.
Again, like Rhea said, sports day for me was also a lot of fun. I'd also come from a different school initially, so I had seen some of the more typical sports days where not everyone participated, only certain number of people were participating, and everyone else kind of just sat and watched, so no one was really interested in this. And what I really loved about the sports day at Riverside was the fact that everyone participated in some way or the other. You might be playing a sport, you might be running a race, you might be in charge of the writing the song or finding the music, the creative director, whatever. In some way, you are a part of the team. And that was always fun because I love to play sports, but like I also enjoyed some of the other things. The parades that we did, that was great fun with like, and we would dress up and paint our face in the team colors. So all of that was a blast. And again, I'm sure a lot of you play football. That was again a big thing with almost everyone wanting to play football. So just playing with everyone, and because it was when we did the sports day, and I'm assuming it's the same now, it's a cross. The teams are across kitchen three. So then you're playing and you spending a lot more time with your friends from other classes who generally you would not spend that much time with. And I think that was a great experience. And one thing that really stood out for me that was really fun for me was the fact that we could make the entire school a quote unquote sports field. And that time, Riverside did not have the roof field and the setup that we do today. So I remember there was this one race that there was a race that happened, which was like an obstacle race, and it started somewhere in Key Stage 1, went through Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, through the field onto into Key Stage 3, and then ended up on the roof of Key Stage 3. So that basically converted the whole school into the track. And that was a great fun because you had stairs, you had like a water body that we had to go through. So just the fact that we could do things like this, have a lot of fun at school, at an event that the school has put on, that we are a part of in every way, from the planning right to participating in it, was always a great experience. And at the same time, it was a learning experience. As Rhea mentioned, you learn about sportsmanship, you learn about healthy competition, you learn about giving it your all, because ultimately you do want your team to win. So I know you're doing everything you can to get that result, but you also learn things that will come in helpful for other things that you will do. When you are in a team, you are learning how to work with a lot of different people who have different skills, who have different interests, and that is something that carries over. You might not be playing sports for a living 10 years down the line, but you still are working on teams. I don't think both of us can attest to that. None of us work independently completely without any interaction with anyone else. That'll also be quite boring. But you need to figure out how to work with very diverse group of people, and how to identify your strengths, how to cover and match each other's strengths and weaknesses to get the best output for whatever you're doing. So yeah, and I know you guys are probably itching to get out of here and go actually prep for sports day.
Yes, definitely they are. No, so now we can open the floor for questions from students. Students, do we have any question? Please come up. You can tell.
The students here have picked up a couple of things, and what we liked, at least what I liked, journey was three things. The first thing that she spoke about, it's the persistence idea. It's not necessary that the way you look right now for your persistence, or the way you approach your persistence later on, you don't know, that might become your dream job, or it might allow you to go into a job which did not exist till now, or the way you will look upon that idea as your career. So that was very interesting, but also that tells us that how adaptable she was, how quick learner she was into the idea that, okay, this is what now I feel that I should go about it. Yeah, the second thing that she spoke about was the openness of mind, wherein when the seniors are telling you about certain things which they see in you, the strengths that they look upon, and they give you a feedback, or they tell you to try out something new. And what I feel is that the students from Riverside are risk takers in terms of these ideas. So adapting to that, or catching those ideas and trying those out, is a risk taking ability which is developed over here very well, pretty well. And that's what you've shown over there. The third thing that what I picked up was about the most important thing is, right now you might not understand, but in the workforce, mental health is very, very important. And I think she spoke about saying that whatever bigger or greater job that can be, but it is not bigger than your mental health. So if your mental health has to be given priority, that has to be the biggest and most important thing in your life. Also, she spoke about, whenever you start, it's not necessary that everyone gets the dream job that they want to. Your mindset has to be, even if there is some job which aligns to your liking or aligns to your understanding, you should start off with it. So that was the important key facts that I picked up from Rhea's conversation, or her journey that I saw. I've been seeing you after a long time, Rhea. Yeah, but I'm very, very happy and glad to see your journey and where you are right now, right? Congratulations to you, and thank you for coming here.
Thank you so much for having me. I think it's so great to interact with all the students and the teachers, especially because we were there a while back. So it's so good to see the faces. It's all like nostalgia coming back again. So it's lovely.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. For Karthikeya, if I know him, he was a student in his batch who would have taken all the subjects which he could. And I remember during lunchtime, he would be all under pressure of now I have to do this also, I have to do that also, and taking all of those subjects at that point of time because completely new. This program was completely new for us, for them, everybody. But I think what he clearly mentioned was that he was not clear till a very long time that what he wants to do. That is, but what I know about Karthikeya is whatever he did, he gave more than 100% to. And he was very transparent about what he can and what he couldn't. But he never left anything for chance. He did go and try to take the risk of what he said, even if you don't know, put yourself into the grind and you will realize what can be taken out of it. Yeah, so that was fantastic. Thank you, Karthikeya, for that bit of it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. It's great to be back, to be in that room.
Absolutely. So thank you both of you. I think they at this age, whatever they have picked up, I think they will put into their time forward and see how does it work for them, what they can improve on that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you to all the speakers, Rhea and Karthikeya, for joining us today and taking your time for the session. The school has partnered with Univariety for the Alumni Impact Program, and the idea is to connect students with their alumni so that they can seek guidance and learn from their journeys. And all the students have access to the portal as well. They might reach out to you over a text, maybe. And we also recently interviewed Karthikeya for the AGS video that we did for the students so that they can also refer it later as well. And thank you so much again for your time. And yeah, bye bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.